What's up, True Crime World? You're here with Luminol on the Wall. I'm Bevy.
And I'm Becky.
And before we get into the case today, why don't we have our sister chat? Anything new going on with you, Becky?
Not a whole lot there, Bevy. Can't say anything super exciting has happened. What about you?
Oh, nothing going on with me, per se. My son, making leaps and bounds. Almost crawling. Fantastic.
Almost. He's days
reaching,
away.
Literally today, his butt was going up in the air. And then his arms, like he would actually lift his arms up and his butt almost in a crawling like position. And then his arms would give out on him and he'd fall face down and he'd kind of do like butt up in the air and then push with his feet. So his face would kind of slide along the couch or the bed. And then he'd kind of get upset because, you know, that isn't the most pleasant way to learn to crawl, like smearing your face into the ground. But yeah, he's making leaps and bounds. And yeah, so that's it. Colson news. Other than that, I'm at home. I'm chilling. Although we did go to the racetrack.
The racetrack.
The racetrack. There we go.
Yes, yes. Yes, our aunt trains horses.
Mm-hmm.
And one of her horses were in the race.
Exactly. So we bet on it.
We did.
And tell the people, Becky, how much did we make accumulatively, like you and I together?
Well, on top of what we bet, we did get our money back, which between the two of us was $30 bet. Mm-hmm. But we made a whopping $1.50.
Hell yeah, we did.
We're rich. We're rich.
Yeah.
Put that into our retirement fund.
That's right.
Yes, we'll be able to retire in no time.
Watch it grow.
That's right. I was a little shocked that it was that little, I'm not gonna lie.
I know. I think we both kind of did like triple takes at the screen, like, wait a second, what? Huh? $21?
Oh.
$10.50? What the fuck?
It was shocking.
We did bet for her horse to win or to place top 3.
Yeah.
To show as they were.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, we didn't really look at the odds, did we?
No. I think it was what Craig said, it was kind of thought to come in third place. That's what it was like projected to do.
So the fact that it did was kind of like not all that surprising.
Yeah, it's like, good. You did what you're supposed to, you little horsey.
Yeah. So anyways, it was fun.
That was a good time.
Yeah, I enjoyed it myself.
I'd go back.
Yeah, but I'm more interested in going to a derby.
You want to get dressed up?
Yeah, totally.
We're one of those fascinators.
Yeah, that's what I want to do.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, the races were fun, but there's a lot of downtime. So unless you're like drinking, it's kind of like the like minute race that you watch. You're like, hell yeah. But then the rest of the time you're like, better love the people you're with.
Yeah. Yeah. That's the truth, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or have a drink in your hand.
One of the two. That'll make it awesome. Even more awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah. Well, we'll just have to get you to a derby.
Might as well.
Might as well. All right,
well,
Bev.
Since that's about all that's new in our life, Rebecca, let's get on with the case.
Yes, let's get. Kind of fitting with our racehorse story, our case takes us to Waco, Texas. And I associate horses with Texas.
There you go. Oddly enough, so did I. Which is weird.
Sweet. Glad it's not just me, because how could it be? So, like I said, just south of Waco, Texas, where the sun beats down hot and the accents are strong as the barbecue is smoky.
That's where our case takes place.
Exactly. Bev, give me your best Texan accent.
Oh, Lord, I shouldn't.
Don't butcher to offend people.
Down here in Texas.
You know, Bev? I think that was great. I think so.
Look at me. I was nervous with that one. I'm not going to lie. Like, I don't want to, like, completely do a totally different accent or, like, I don't know, just sounds stupid, but go me.
Go you. You can move there if you wanted, and you'd fit right in. All right, so back in the mid-90s, Keith Gentry was making his way through Texas State Technical College, studying drafting and welding. He was a classic Texas boy. He'd grown up in Robinson, loving hunting, fishing, and anything that let him be outdoors. And if we're being honest, he was pretty easy on the eyes, too. While in school, Keith met Darlene, a striking blonde from Cameron, Texas. She'd been homecoming queen in high school and was studying to be a dental assistant. When they met, it was absolutely electric. Darlene later remembered and was quoted saying, "My first impression was his eyes. He had the most beautiful eyes." But after about 8 months, Darlene was ready to graduate, get married, and start a family. But Keith wasn't quite there yet. And so they broke up. They both took it really hard, but life went on. Darlene moved to Dallas to work for a dentist, trying to carve out her own path. But after her car got stolen, she decided it was time to head back home. A little bit smaller town, quieter life, less theft, you know?
Yeah, that's fair.
Now, one night she went out dancing, and there was Keith, as if fate had led them right onto the dance floor. They started talking again, sparks flying just like before, and soon they were back together. Keith's family couldn't have been happier. They finally felt like Keith had found the right woman. And after a couple years of dating, in 1999, Keith proposed, and Darlene said yes. They had a classic Texas wedding, a big old barbecue, dancing under the stars, and all the friends and family celebrating the start of their life together. After the wedding, Keith took a job as a traveling electrician for an architecture firm, and the couple moved back to Robinson, Texas, building a home right next to Keith's parents. And life started moving fast. They welcomed 3 boys in just 4 years. Could you imagine, Bev?
No, honestly, that is insane.
That is a lot of babies.
In 3 years, like, oh my God, you basically just be pregnant the whole time. That would be hell.
Actually, our mom and dad did that too in 3.5 years.
Oh, God.
What is wrong with them? That sounds like madness, Bev.
I know. Right now, I can't even think of having another baby. I'm like, hell no.
Like,
and mom would have, like, been pregnant in the next 2 months, I think.
Or, like, right now. No, you're right, in a couple months.
Yeah, no, I literally, which is weird that we're talking about this, I calculated it today. In my head, I was thinking about this exact thing. Because I was like, what if I did end up getting pregnant right now? And then I did the whole 10-month thing, and I was like, holy crap. In 2 months, mom was pregnant with Becky, or with me. Like, I was like, that was just, I couldn't even fathom that.
Yeah, Colson would just be walking.
Yeah. Or, like, I don't even know. Probably
not. Baby.
Exactly. Like, holy crap.
Oof. Anyways, the point is, that's a lot of babies. And you know what? Somewhere along the way, Darlene realized that dentistry just wasn't for her. She was not passionate about it. And she made the bold decision to go back to school for nursing. She graduated and then began a career that let her balance her new family with her own ambitions. Because of Keith's job, he was gone 4 days a week, like out of town. And I'm sure you could imagine, Bev, this put an enormous amount of pressure on Darlene.
No kidding. She's raising 3 boys.
Yes.
Like, she'd have to do everything.
Mm-hmm. Exactly. For those 4 days. You know, she was juggling her kids, her work, the household, and it became fairly overwhelming for her. On weekends, though, they tried to make the most of their time together, and they often had Keith's parents babysit so that they could still go out with their friends and have a bit of a social life. Bev, you should move next door to your parents-in-law, your in-laws. That's what I meant.
I mean, honestly, there are some benefits to living close to your relatives.
Yeah, babysitting, time together, help.
Luckily, I have great in-laws, but I think the biggest fear with moving close to your relatives is like the everybody loves Raymond situation, you know, where the in-laws are there all the time. They don't ask for permission to come over. They just walk in at any time, and then, you know, the mother-in-law criticizes everything you do. That's the fear, I'm sure.
That is the fear.
I have great in-laws, but yeah.
Space is always good.
Space is always a little good, right?
Yeah. Now, on the surface, it seemed like they were managing and balanced, but the stress was quietly mounting. Keith eventually decided he wanted to be more present for his family, and he ended up taking a local job. It wasn't as fulfilling as his previous work. He was at a desk all day, and his pay took a noticeable hit. But the trade-off was more time at home.
Which I gotta say is fantastic. Obviously a family guy. family orientated, at least. Like, I think that takes a lot of courage to make that big change.
Mm-hmm.
Especially, when you look and consider the trade-offs that he took.
Oh, yeah, for sure. Because not everyone would do that.
No, that's why I'm like pretty impressed with the decision to do something that would give you more time with your family. Like,
Exactly.
Obviously, he cares about spending time with them. I think that's great.
For sure. Now, unfortunately, the lower income introduced financial tension that would grow over the years. Keith was meticulous with his money, never missing a bill, while Darlene enjoyed shopping and indulging her tastes, as well as providing for the children and their home. When their income decreased, she didn't adjust her spending habits. Keith confided in his father that, left unchecked, she would spend everything. Now, as you can imagine, soon the credit card bills began piling up, and Keith started receiving calls at work about missed payments, further adding to his stress.
Yikes.
Now, money wasn't the only source of friction. The couple also clashed over parenting. Keith was frustrated by Darlene's leniency with the boys, especially when they screamed and were rowdy.
It just kind of seems like Darlene is like a little bit more lax in general.
Yes, it does seem like that with
like
kind of
even
everything.
with the finances. Yeah.
Yeah. By 2005, after 6 years of marriage, friends and family noticed a growing rift. Keith's father said you could see a lot of problems starting. They didn't seem to be happy, specifically Keith. Their free time together was increasingly rare, and Darlene seemed to leave the kids with Keith's parents more than ever. Despite the strain, Keith was determined to keep his family together, saying, I'm not going to leave her.
I mean, that checks with his, family orientation that we were talking about earlier, with him quitting his big paying job.
Yep.
And moving closer to home. Like, that makes sense. He wants to make it work.
Yeah.
He values his family.
Yeah, top priority, right?
Mm-hmm.
Now, by late 2005, the strain on Keith and Darlene's marriage was very evident. Financial pressure, constant stress, and clashing parenting styles had created tension that friends and family could feel. Mornings could be hectic, temper short, and the household often on edge. Then on the morning of November 9th, 2005, something shocking happened. Around 6 a.m., Darlene called 911, her voice frantic. She told dispatchers, I got up this morning, my back door was open, my husband's guns are all gone, and there's blood on the bed, and he's gurgling. He has pink foam coming out of his mouth, and he's making a god-awful sound. Keith's father saw police rushing down Keith and Darlene's driveway. When he ran outside to ask what had happened, officers told him to stay in his yard. At that exact same time, Darlene phoned Keith's mother, saying that police had her and the children isolated in the back room. She told her the house was cold, the back door was open, and Keith's guns were gone. So you can imagine, how Keith's parents are feeling. They're like, what is going on? She didn't give any details as to, that anything was going on with Keith either. So they're like, is it a robbery?
It's super weird that she focused on those three things to tell the mother. Not
right?
Hey, your son is terribly injured. It's no, the house is cold, the back door's open, and the guns are gone. It's why would you focus on those things? Wouldn't your first thing be Keith is severely hurt, something really bad happened?
Yeah, I don't know what happened, the door's open. That would be the order, right?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. So the police rushed there, and when they entered the home, they first noticed several guns lying on the front lawn, which is weird, right? Why would there just be a pile of guns?
Yeah, on the front lawn, no less.
Yeah.
Why go through all the effort if you were someone that broke into that home or something? Why go through the effort of taking them from the home and just laying them in a big old pile on the front lawn?
Seems absolutely ridiculous, right?
Okay, so they see these guns,
Yep.
and they make their way inside.
Yes. They go to the master bedroom. They found Keith face down in bed with a single gunshot wound to the head. He was still alive, but barely. Before the ambulance arrived, police asked Darlene if she had seen which way the intruder went. She said she hadn't. And when asked if she had done anything, she replied that she had done nothing. not even try to help her husband. She had only called the police. Keith was rushed to the hospital, but he unfortunately died later that day at just 31 years old. Outside, his parents waited anxiously for answers, and they weren't told what had happened until they saw Keith being carried out on a stretcher with a breathing apparatus, realizing then that this was far more than just a burglary. In fact, nothing had even been stolen from the home except the guns, which had already been found outside. The door on the east side of the house was standing open, but there were no signs of forced entry. The glass gun cabinet inside hadn't been smashed. Instead, someone had used the small key hidden on top of the hutch to unlock it. Police noted that this suggested knowledge of the house rather than the behavior of a random burglar, right?
Yeah, like, absolutely. Who the fuck would think to, like, try and find a key in such an intense moment? You know what I mean?
I wouldn't if I was a burglar. I'd want to get in, get out as fast as possible.
100%.
And smashing the glass would have... I mean, maybe I would have tried to open it, see if it was unlocked first.
Oh, yeah, 100%. But
then smash it.
If it wasn't, it's an intense situation if you're breaking into someone's home. Like, you could get caught at any moment. The last thing you're going to do is, like, where could this key potentially be? Like, and it's, like, not the first place you would look on top of the hutch. Like, it might not be, right? You might look everywhere else. So why are you going to take the time to, like, try and ransack a house to look for a tiny little key? No. Like, time is of the essence if you're a burglar. Like, you're going to, like, smash that glass.
Exactly. And you know what else, Bev? If I was going to steal guns, I personally would assume that the key is almost anywhere else in the house other than on the top of the cabinet.
Totally, Becky.
Like, I would never probably think to look there, even though it's right there, like almost in front of your face. But I would assume that someone has that key hidden
elsewhere.
Yeah. Like, I don't know. That's just me, but I'm not a burglar, sense. I guess.
You know what that just made me think of, though? It's kind of a random thought, but you know how, like, some people, when they go out and someone's looking, like, leave the country or leave the province or whatever, they have someone look after their home, and they typically, like, hide the key under a plant or, like, under the front doormat or something. Isn't it kind of like a similar thing? Like, the most obvious place, just out of sight?
Yeah.
Because, like, you're not thinking, oh, someone's going to be breaking into my home, so I'm just going to put this, like, the key on top of here for my convenience. Or, like, hey, someone's going to come look after my home. I don't want them, like, digging through, like, the garden or whatever. I'm just going to put it in the most convenient place. Hopefully no one thinks that I'm not home or whatever, right?
Yeah.
Like, people usually do that, actually. Yeah, now that I'm thinking about it, people aren't very smart.
More common than we are thinking.
Yeah, but if I was a burglar, though, that's not the first place I would think. I'd be like, maybe there's, like, keys hanging somewhere, you know, locked up in a desk drawer. Like, I would think that.
Especially, like, a gun hatch.
Yeah, totally.
It's not like a key you usually just leave laying around.
It's true, Becky.
Yeah.
So either way, the police are thinking this pokes a hole in the theory of this being a burglary gone wrong.
Exactly. And what the cops also found weird is that if the break-in was about stealing guns, why leave them in a pile outside and take nothing else? So it was like why even break in?
Yeah, what the fuck is the point?
You took nothing.
Totally.
What's more troubling still, Keith had been shot while lying in bed, completely defenseless. He wasn't a threat to anyone breaking in.
Yeah, so why did he turn up dead?
Right? So it would make you think that someone wanted Keith dead.
Yeah, like he was the reason someone was in that home or what have you.
Yeah. That's what I would deduce from that, yeah?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah. The officers also thought it was strange that Darlene claimed she hadn't heard or seen anything during the shooting. Their doubts grew, and one police officer was recorded speaking to another cop saying, "Something ain't right, man. I'm telling ya." So Darlene was taken to the police station. One, just like for normal procedural things, but also because they were feeling a little weird about her story. And the investigators needed her account of what had happened and wanted to hear it away from the chaos at the scene. Her statement was that she had gone out the night before to see a friend in a city 30 miles away. She said she returned home between 8 and 9 p.m. and she and Keith had a fairly tense conversation about finances. Keith had apparently gotten a call at work about a missed credit card payment, which had put him in an angry mood. Darlene claimed she left him alone to cool off. She went driving around for a while, and when she came back, they were able to talk more calmly and resolve the issue. Later, they went to bed. Then she explained that she had gotten up during the night because her children were sick. She went to go console them, help them feel better, and she fell asleep in their room and didn't hear anything that went on that night. She said she awoke when one of the boys jumped on her in the morning, and that's when she realized it was time to get moving for the day. As she started the boys' routine, she noticed the house felt cold, and she saw the back door was open. Then she realized the gun cabinet had been unlocked, and the guns were missing. She yelled at Keith to wake up, but he just didn't respond. And when she went to the bedroom, she noticed he was making strange noises. And they sounded different from his normal snoring. Turning on the light, she said she saw him straining with every muscle in his body just to breathe. And there was pink foam coming from his mouth. She tried yelling at him and hitting him lightly to wake him, but then she noticed blood on the sheets. At that point, she left the room and called 911 on her cell phone. To the detectives, her version of events raised some red flags. Number one being Darlene was a registered nurse, and yet she made 0 attempts to help her husband, like CPR, try and stop the bleeding, you know?
Yeah, nothing, hey?
Yeah, which is such a travesty because he was still alive when she found him. During the interview, she also never asked if he was okay. She never asked to see him at the hospital, and she offered no explanation for why she hadn't tried CPR. And for investigators, her lack of concern for Keith's survival didn't match the behavior of a distraught spouse. It looked indifferent. During the interview, a doctor called the police to inform them that Keith's injuries had him brain dead. So the investigators decided to bring Darlene to the hospital so that she could be with the family. And not long after, Keith was removed from life support and passed away with his loved ones at his side. Family members noticed that while Darlene had some tears in her eyes, she didn't appear overly emotional. Now, as we know on its own, that might not mean anything.
Right.
We've said it several times, people grieve in different ways, but combined with the doubts the detectives already had, it registered another red flag.
Yeah.
Okay, Bev.
I mean, I would say the biggest thing is like, while she's getting questioned, she doesn't even ask if he's okay. Like the last she knew, he was alive at the very least. Like, how is my husband doing? What's going on? Like, that is what I would be most concerned with. Like, is he okay?
Yeah.
Like, obviously, last time I saw him, he was definitely not okay. But like, that's a huge red flag because someone who, I don't know, gives a shit and maybe doesn't want that person dead would be concerned, would be like, holy crap, give me updates. I have to be here at this effing like police place with you and I can't be with my husband. Like, I would be freaking out, right?
Yeah. 100%.
At least you would think.
Yeah. And okay, so when you go to CPR, you learned, what is it called? Like angular breathing? Something like that?
I'm not going to remember this.
I don't quote me on that. I rarely say it, but I think it's something like that anyways. But it's like when our body's not doing well, and it's like, it is a type of breathing, but anyways, there's CPR to help with that special CPR, a different way than you do it if someone just was like, heart attack, unconscious, not breathing, right? It's just slightly different pattern of breathing, compression, stuff like that. Anyways, the fact that she didn't even know it was that type of breathing and what to do in that situation is kind of shocking to me.
Well, she probably did know. She must know. She's a registered freaking nurse.
Yeah.
But it's either the shock value that she did not know that type of breathing as a registered nurse, or she did know and she just chose to do nothing about it.
I know. I mean, when you're in shock, you kind of get stunned sometimes and you don't always know what's what. But so I guess for now we'll give her the benefit of the doubt, but it is weird.
I do have to say it is important to call 911 in that situation. Obviously, like what you could do as somebody in that situation, one person would not be nearly as helpful as what someone or a team of people could do, i.e., getting an ambulance to him. So I do understand that bit, but like there's speakerphone. You can do both.
You can do both. Yep. That you can.
All right. So
You
yeah,
can multitask.
it's a weird situation. You can do both.
So, after leaving the hospital, Detective O'Connor escorted Darlene back to the police station. By then, investigators were no longer treating her as just a grieving spouse. They made it clear they believed she was a suspect. And around 5 p.m. that evening, Darlene asked for a lawyer. So, we know what that means. Conversation over.
Yeah.
Now, meanwhile, back at the house, detectives discovered that one of Keith's registered firearms was missing. It was a .22 caliber revolver gifted to him by his father. So, where did that gun go, Bev? I think we can assume that's the murder weapon, yeah.
Well, if it wasn't, I'd be shocked.
Real shocked.
Becky.
Right.
That's like that's what seems to make sense right now to me.
Exactly. So when the autopsy was performed, the bullet retrieved from Keith's head was badly damaged. So they weren't, even if they find the gun, they weren't able to compare the bullet.
Like the ballistics?
Yeah. It couldn't be compared. It was just too badly damaged. However, the medical examiner confirmed it had been fired from a .22 caliber weapon.
So the caliber at least matches the gun that's missing from the home.
Yes.
So yeah, it's looking like that is the murder weapon more and more.
Mm-hmm. Yes, it would appear that way. Now, when the police looked into Keith himself, he had no criminal history, no secret double life, nothing to suggest enemies or grudges. But when investigators contacted the insurance companies, they found he carried 2 different life insurance policies. One through his employer and another personal policy, totaling around $750,000. So,
damn.
Good chunk of change.
Becky?
Yes?
Here's a theory.
Okay.
Based on what we know about Darlene, she's terrible with money. She likes spending it. She was kind of having a hard time adjusting to a lower financial means for her family. And on the night in question, her and Keith got into a fight about finances. This would, if she was paid out this life insurance or these life insurance policies, this could fix a lot of her problems.
Yeah.
Just saying.
Could fix her problems and give her tons of money to spend.
True that.
So detectives noted that if nothing else, that kind of payout presented a potential motive for Darlene.
Absolutely.
And after learning that, they applied for a warrant for Darlene's arrest.
Yeah, I mean, you have motive, opportunity, and I mean, potentially the means if she was the one that took the missing gun out of the cabinet from her own home. You know what I mean?
Yes, yes.
So she's got all 3. So I get why she is, number 1 suspect at this point.
Yeah, for sure. So on November 28th, investigators called Keith's parents with news they never expected to hear, that they were arresting Darlene for Keith's murder. His parents were stunned. To them, she wasn't a suspect. She was family. They couldn't imagine she was capable of such a crime. And they actually believed the police had gotten it wrong. Their loyalty to her ran so deep that they even helped raise her $50,000 bail, ensuring that she was released from jail that same evening. In an almost unthinkable twist, they welcomed Darlene and her boys into their own home after her release. So they had a lot of trust in this lady, Bev.
Yeah, like your son just died. And the police are thinking she did it and you're going to welcome her into your home? Damn.
Yeah. Now, while the family tried to hold things together, investigators were still building their case. The district attorney was preparing to present evidence to a grand jury for Darlene's formal indictment. But there was one major problem that loomed over the case. The murder weapon was still missing. Without it, the state's case felt incomplete, and everyone, family, prosecutors, and Darlene herself were left in limbo. This means that it's purely circumstantial case at this point.
Totally.
Now, while they're in limbo, Darlene appeared eager to move forward. She reached out to an acquaintance, a real estate developer, Robert Pavelka, asking if he had a house for sale that she could buy. She told him she didn't want her children to keep living in the home where their father had been murdered, which I totally get, Bev. That would be horrendous.
Absolutely. You gotta look out for your children's mental health in this situation, and you don't want them to have a daily reminder of their dad losing his life, right?
Exactly. I don't even know if I could do it myself. Never mind the children,
Oh, no. 100%.
Not good for anyone.
Mm-mm.
Now, unfortunately, Robert didn't have any homes available, but he did have a piece of land where she could build one. Darlene toured the property and fell in love. It had towering trees and a beautiful quiet pond. The very next day, she called Robert again, and she wanted to be sure the pond was included with the property, and it was. She explained to him that Keith would have wanted a place where his boys could fish, as that was something he liked to do. So on the surface, it seemed like a sweet and thoughtful gesture.
Yeah, it really does. It seems like she's trying to, I don't know, commemorate her husband and keep him a part of her children's lives, right?
Yes.
It does seem very sweet. I mean, even her wanting to find another home for them. I mean, her actions do seem well-intended from an outsider's perspective.
Yes, they really do. Now, at the end of December, Robert met with Darlene to go over final details for the new home she was having built on his property. By then, she had actually changed her mind about the pond. She still wanted the house and the property, just without the water feature. She said it would be safer not to have it. Now,
that's confusing.
Right, considering the first reason why she wanted it.
Yeah, like something so sweet and thoughtful, and now all of a sudden, get rid of it. Like, why? Just the safety risk? I don't know.
I mean, drowning is very scary.
I get it, but why be so adamant at one turn and then completely change directions, right? It just feels a little bit weird.
Oh, that it does. And so we think it's weird, and so did Robert. He said that sudden shift felt very odd to him.
Yeah, it does.
Because just weeks earlier, Darlene had been insistent about the pond, even calling him to double check that it came with the property. As we said, explaining that Keith would have wanted a place for his boys to fish. So why demand it one day, then want it gone the next? Was she hiding something? So Robert was concerned enough that later he called a buddy in the police department to share what he'd noticed and heard. And investigators immediately suspected that Darlene might have thrown the murder weapon into the pond. I don't know if you thought that first, Bev, but that's what they thought.
I mean, I kind of did, to be honest, because I was like, we have a missing murder weapon, and then we have a pond that she all of a sudden wants to get rid of, but was so adamant about keeping. I was like, if she now just wants it to be gone, is she covering something up? Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Is that her, I don't know, she thinks it's not obvious that she's doing something weird. It's oh, it's not safe. I've actually changed my mind on it. So she's thinking it's all innocent, but really it's sketchy as hell.
Oh, yeah.
It's just weird considering, what happened with the death of her husband.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I did kind of think that.
So they were concerned enough with this and suspicious enough that on January 4th, a dive team searched the pond with a metal detector, and they recovered a gun from the bottom.
No shit.
Yes. Now, when they ran the registration, it came back as Keith's missing .22 revolver. I think, everyone had that suspicion, but how messed up would that have been to actually been oh, no effing way, there's actually a gun down here?
And it's the .22 caliber, missing one from the family home.
Yeah. Because as an investigator, if I was in their shoes, I'd be sitting there and be like, we're going to check it because this is, kind of weird. But, like, it's probably not there because, like, why would it be, right? But then you're like, oh, God, it is.
Yeah, like, we literally found the potential murder weapon right here.
Exactly. So it's like, okay, on our way to the grand jury. And, well, that's what they did. And it was this evidence that led to Darlene's formal indictment for first-degree murder on January 11th.
Yeah, now it's not so circumstantial, is it?
Mm-mm. The evidence against her was starting to pile up. In the kitchen trash of her home, detectives had discovered a pair of latex gloves. Inside one glove was a .22 caliber shell casing.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. In their garbage, like in the house. Like, that seems silly. Not well thought out. And the tests on that revealed both Keith's and Darlene's DNA on the gloves, along with gunshot residue.
Wow.
Yeah. So now that they found the gun mixed with the gloves and the shell casing, it's like, and the DNA on the gloves is like, I think
we can do away with that whole home invasion story completely.
Oh, yeah, for sure.
Like, Darlene, you're greedy. You're greedy.
That's
and
what it
psychopathic.
Like. Right?
What an idiot, though. Like, why put those in the garbage? I'm just like, in your own home. Come on.
I know.
Come on.
You know what? Okay. Anyone who listens to our podcast, you know how we feel about dumb criminals. Not that we want people to get away with murder, but like when they're so dumb, you're just like, what's wrong with you?
Fuck?
Like,
How
did you not
fuck?
think twice about this scenario? Obviously not. Like, even if there was a burglary, Bev, they're still going to search the house for evidence if someone is killed. So, like, why would you put that evidence in your own garbage? Do you not think the police aren't going to double check that at all?
I think it's just like when you're not, I don't know, maybe a criminal or like a experienced criminal, you just have too many things to think about. And sometimes you miss it. It's like she's probably thinking, I can't leave the home. Like, I have to shoot him. And then I have to discard evidence somehow. But I have to also call 911 pretty quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So surely they'll believe my story of this home invasion. They have to. And they won't check my garbage. Because, like, I'll be the grieving wife. And they will not think of me as a suspect.
Yeah.
Surely. She also would have had to, like, grab all those guns and pile them on her lawn, yeah?
Yeah.
And do it, like, discreetly as well. She would have had to do all of that. So she's probably got a lot on her plate and made a critical error. Thank God.
Thank God. Yes, we love when that does happen overall.
But yeah, stupid as fuck.
Yeah. Now, they didn't stop there. Detectives also knew that just weeks after Keith's death, Darlene had been eager to buy this land, specifically because of the pond, telling the realtor Keith had always wanted a place for his boys to fish. Now that the missing revolver had turned up in a pond, her sudden change of heart seemed far too coincidental. So investigators set up a sting operation, a setup designed to catch a suspect in the act.
We love a good sting, Becky.
Yeah, we do.
I love when detectives get creative with this stuff.
I know, right? It is pretty fun. Now, they worked with Robert. They had him casually tell Darlene that before the pond could be filled in, it first had to be drained. The theory was simple. If she had tossed the gun in, she might panic and try to retrieve it before anyone else could find it.
No kidding.
You know?
She's like, oh my God, the pond would be drained and the gun will just be laid barren at the bottom of it.
Yeah, that's right. And on the flip side, if she wasn't responsible for it, she'd be like, okay, drain the pond, no big deal.
Yeah,
right?
It's a safety hazard, so yeah.
Yeah.
The quicker the better.
That's right. So Robert noted that when he told her, she all of a sudden seemed really frazzled with this concept.
Uh-oh.
So the police...
Guilty conscience.
Right?
Uh-huh.
So then the police positioned themselves in the bushes overlooking the pond with a hidden camera, waiting to see what she'd do if she'd turn up. And who showed up, Bev?
Darlene.
Darlene is right. Wearing knee-high wading boots.
To boot. Oh my God.
You just say to boot after I said wading boots?
Yeah.
That's funny.
Oh.
I like that. Now, Bev, she walked straight into the pond and began digging around in the mud. Now, the dive team, who had already recovered the revolver, had left a stick poking out of the water to mark the spot where it had been found. And I actually saw this, like just a quick little clip of this video.
Mm-hmm.
And the stick that's in there is almost like, it's not a huge stick. It's just enough to be like, that's where we found it. So like if you were just someone hanging out at the pond searching for a gun, you might see that stick and not even think anything about it. So it was really like discreet. Now, where this stick was is exactly where Darlene began her search. As the minutes passed.
Oh, shit.
Yeah. She became more frantic, pawing through the mud as if she knew something should be there. But eventually she left empty-handed. But now the investigators had her behavior on tape. And to them, this was the smoking gun. Everyone thought that was a smoking gun. Because no guilty person would have done that.
You mean no innocent person?
Yes, that is exactly what I meant. Only a guilty person would have done that.
Yeah.
My bad.
And like, obviously, okay, so the point of the stick being discreet is that she wasn't like, oh, X marks the spot, it's right there. It's like, no, she knew that's where she placed the gun.
Yeah, in that vicinity. So
wow.
Yeah.
That is hilarious.
It is, right? And it seemed
kind of is.
Like she really does get like frantic, like, you know, like if you were like, imagine you're in her boots, her wading
Nice.
boots, but you can't like find, you know, it's there. The panic that I would be feeling.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, lordy, lordy, lordy.
Yeah.
Oh, God. Like, I don't feel bad for her, but like, I would hate to feel that way myself.
So would I.
Yeah. So, Darlene's trial began in February of 2007. Prosecutors presented their case, highlighting the key pieces of evidence, the lack of forced entry, the latex gloves with both Keith and Darlene's DNA and gunshot residue on it, and the damning pond video showing her searching for the revolver. In the trial, Darlene's attorney advised her not to testify, and she followed that advice, which I think was smart on her.
Oh, she'd get ripped to shreds on the cross-examination. Holy shit.
Oh my God,
she'd be done for.
Oh.
Why did you go to that pond in knee-high wading boots? Why were you searching for something at the bottom? Like, what could you say to that?
Right?
Yeah. Like, they have her on video. Like,
okay,
that
Beth,
wasn't me.
Beth, pretend you're Darlene and come up with an excuse. Hit me.
Oh, to why I was there?
Yeah.
My son tried to go fishing there because I wanted him to be close to his father. And while he was there, he slipped into the pond and he actually took a lot of his tackle in there, his tackle box. And he was really upset because it was actually his dad's tackle box. Mm-hmm. And it was really, really important to him. And I needed to find it for him because he could not get over it. I wanted to be a good mom and I had to find it for him. So I went in boots and was searching for his tackle box, but I couldn't find it. Like I couldn't even reach the bottom very well. So
right.
I thought I could just get it at a different time.
Yeah, a different time than when you lost it. That's plausible. It's logical why you're at the pond, Miss Darlene. Good excuse. Good one.
Wait, I can't tell if you're being serious. Do you think that was the dumbest shit ever? Or
Yes. No, I love your attempt. I put you on the spot.
I felt like I was quick on my feet.
I will give you that. You were quick on your feet to come up with something, but if you were Darlene.
I did also feel like I was over-explaining because I was lying.
You totally did, yeah.
I was like, oh, God.
Yeah, like
this is how it happens.
Right there. Oh, she's lying. Wow, that was way too many details.
Yep. Yep.
Very good, Bevy.
Thanks, Beck.
Yeah. Thanks for just running with that.
Yeah. I actually like the challenge, you know?
Mm-hmm.
I was into it.
Good. Well, you're welcome.
So she obviously doesn't testify because, like, that shit show could occur.
Yeah.
So what did the defense say to, like, counter this pond video?
Bevy, A whole lot of nothing.
Really?
Yeah, they really kind of just never directly addressed it or any other incriminating findings. So they kind of just were like, if we don't mention it, it didn't happen. It's not real. You know?
And they're probably like, we have no good explanation to counter this. Like, so what did they end up doing?
Their strategy.
Nice. That was like strategy and tragedy all in one.
Right.
Which, I mean, probably isn't wrong, Becky.
No.
Considering they completely ignored key evidence in the case. So kind of a tragedy and a poor strategy.
Yes.
Say that.
Yeah. What I was trying to say, in all fairness, was the strategy.
You're like those people on TikTok where they try and say something, but their brain literally can't like get it right. Like, have you ever seen someone try and say like the word fork, and she was like pork, shork, and or something like that. She was like going on. She's like, oh my God,
like what
like
is
you're almost
your brain's like short
that.
circuiting somehow, and you're like, I know I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong.
Yeah. So their strategy, Becky,
thank you,
was
they seem to downplay the case rather than challenge it head on. So the defense argued that Darlene was a grieving widow and that her reserved reaction to her husband's death was simply her way of processing the tragedy. They also claimed that her actions regarding the pond were a mistake. She said she had heard a rumor that the gun might have been thrown there and that when she went to check, it was an honest error. Friends and family, though, of Keith doubted this explanation, as do I, and the look you're giving me, you do too. Bev, if you heard a rumor, would you not just go to the cops and be like, hey, I heard this rumor. The murder weapon's in this pond, especially of this property I'm trying to buy. I don't want to be framed for this shit.
100%. That's just like, that's ludicrous.
Exactly.
But it's all they got.
Yeah. The question still remained, why would she have gone directly to that exact spot where the gun had initially been found? And the defense gave no explanation for that, Bev. Now, the jury deliberated for just 5 hours before returning a verdict. Darlene was guilty of first-degree murder. The following day, Darlene was sentenced to 60 years in prison. Reports note that she showed little emotion as the verdict was read, calmly removing her earrings before being led away. Immediately after her sentencing, Darlene filed an appeal for a new trial, arguing that the surveillance video should not have been allowed as evidence. She maintained her claim that the police had set her up. But
well, they did. Like, they set you up, and you could have done, you know, what an innocent person would have done, and that would have been
stay home.
Stay home. But you didn't.
No, she didn't. But the original jury had clearly found the evidence persuasive. The aftermath was heartbreaking. Keith's parents, who had originally stood by Darlene, were granted custody of their 3 boys. In fact, a 2010 court order explicitly forbade Darlene from contacting her children. Darlene continued to fight her conviction, filing additional appeals over the years and claiming that evidence had been mishandled. However, in 2017, the Texas Court of Criminal Appeals denied her request for a new trial, leaving her 60-year sentence intact. She remains in prison today with parole eligibility set for 2037. And she continues to maintain her innocence, Bev.
Well, I'm sure she has to do that to protect, like, her self-concept, you know? You did a nasty thing. You killed the father of your 3 boys. Like, that's terrible. All for the sake of money? Like, that's awful.
Right?
That would be super hard to deal with as a person. Like, if you did that, I mean, I'm sure you would have some type of, I don't know, mental, I'm trying to think of the word because I know it, but I mean, you would just feel not like conflicted, but there would be some challenges in the way you saw yourself, basically. I know there's an actual word for it, but if you admitted that you were guilty, that would be super hard to view yourself in such a negative light. So you'd have to maintain your innocence to kind of, I don't know, continue to accept yourself as a good person.
I see what you're saying, yes.
Yeah. but I know there's a specific word for it. I'm just like, or 2 words. I think it's 2 words. Anyways, I can't think of the words, but that's what I'm trying to say.
That's what she's trying to
Right?
say. Like she has
It's
to
like-
like find a way to mentally live with herself. So she says, I'm innocent.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. Because what
Yeah.
you did was damn awful. Like,
Yeah.
so bad. And like, honestly, her kids just lose. Like,
Oh.
I don't know. I just think greed is so selfish.
It is.
So selfish. And like, in this circumstance, 3 children just lost both their parents, really.
Yeah. They can't contact their mom, which, I mean, maybe is for the best. I don't
Maybe it's for
actually
the
know.
best, but I was kind of wondering about that. I was like, I didn't know that courts were allowed to do that.
Yeah. It's kind of like a restraining order, no contact, right? But there's lots of...
You're not in the best interest of your children, actually.
There you go, right? So, I mean, we have not seen her in court, how she talks, but I could imagine if a lot of evidence is suggesting that you killed your husband and your children are allowed to come see you and you are telling them, I didn't do it, what kind of story, or what could that do to your kid?
Oh, totally. That would mess them right up, hey?
Right? Like, I could imagine, like, if I was in that situation as a child, maybe you start thinking, like, oh, the police are really bad. My mom's being framed. And, you know, who knows where those thoughts, you know, where they would snowball to and how that might affect your child's life down the road.
It's true. You're kind
Right?
of teaching, you would potentially be teaching them to have a problem with authority
Mm-hmm.
and like people that are placed on this earth to protect us. And I don't know. Sometimes that could lead to a conduct disorder. Now, I am just going off the deep end here, going far too into it. But, you know, that's what I was kind of thinking.
Yeah, you never know. And that could be why. I don't know.
Yeah.
We weren't there. We don't 100% know.
Yeah, we don't even know why this restraining of, like,
So
contact was made. So,
here are words, but don't take them as fact or Bible.
yeah, we're just talking out loud.
Yeah, that's for sure. So, Bevy, that is the case of Keith Gentry. Thanks for listening.
Well, thanks for sharing. And I love you hugely.
Oh, Bevy, I love you.
And just your weekly reminder to download our weekly episodes, follow us on Spotify or Apple Music or whatever streaming platform you listen to us on, and give us a follow on our social medias. You can find us at Luminol on the Wall. Can't wait till next week.